Today I'm going to be traveling back in time in my time machine to go back in ancient Egypt, and I cannot wait to find out all about Egypt's amazing history. And if I'm lucky, I might even get to see the pyramids. Hey, why don't you come around the world with me? Egyptians began living life high up in the land above the Nile, but by 5000 BCE they were farmers who had already started to build villages, and we can now prove that by 3500 BC, Egyptian people were already living in cities. Egypt is made of about 98% desert, and the climate is very hot, so the river Nile is very important to the Egyptians. And many of the myths of the bank of the Nile every year and now, with overflow leaving the perfect soil for farmers to plant seeds and grow crops, the River Nile, the longest river in Africa, about 6,670 kilometers in its length, but only 22% of the last course runs through Egypt. It's made up of two rivers, the White Nile and the Blue Nile, and these rivers weaken Sudan, but the long journey north towards the Nile, even had its own god called Hapi. The Egyptians would thank Hapi for bringing fertility to the land, while the things that eat it is most famous for today. It's a Great Pyramid, and especially the Great Pyramids of Giza. The Great Pyramid of Giza is done now. There's the 7 wonders of the world. We still can't work out exactly how they built them, even all the modern technology that we have today. It's the Great Pyramids is about 20 years to build and was built when Egyptian pharaoh could cruise around 2550 BC. There are some massive tourist attraction today, and millions of people visit pyramids every year. And you can still enter the pyramid through the Robbers Tunnel near the Great Pyramid of Giza. It is 73 meters long and 20 meters high, and it's supposed to be one of the largest single stone statues in the whole wide world, and has now become an endless Egypt, another thing that you could see, famous for how its trips in Saharas, a fair word guilty, a powerful king who brought Egypt and was seen as a living god by the people of Pharaoh's queen, was seen as a god. Some well-known pharaohs include Canaan, who is famous in history for extreme latest revolution that Egypt believed in many different gods, but when a Canaan became pharaoh, he ordered the Egyptians to worship only the sun god Aten, Rasis the second one, another well-known pharaoh.
Considered one of the most powerful rulers in the entire Egyptian empire, and his queen was called Nefertari and was said to be truly beautiful. Ramses, the second famous pharaoh, lived until 92, which is really old for Egyptians at that time. But one of the most famous pharaohs in history has to be Tutankhamun. He would be the youngest pharaoh ever. He was only 9 or 10 when he became pharaoh, and he died when he was just a teenager at the age of 18. He's one of the most famous pharaohs in history because all his tombs in the Valley of the King. The amazing treasures that were found with it, including the mask that he made. Once Tutankhamun had died, then he became an Egyptian mummy, just like all the great pharaohs before him. A mummy is a body of a person or animal that has been preserved after death. The Egyptians were passionate about this. They believed they had to preserve their bodies so they could use them in the afterlife. Their families put things in their grave that they would need in the next life, and paid lots of money to have them mummified. The rich ones like Tutankhamun or other pharaohs even got their own tomb. Anubis was the god of mummification. He had a body that of a human and a head of a jackal. They didn't only mummify people, but animals too. You can go see them on display at the Egyptian Museum in Cairo, as well as many other amazing things, including Tutankhamun mask. The museum has 2 main floors, and on one floor you can find an amazing range of papyrus and quires from the ancient world. Papyrus is a plant that Egyptians used to go through a special process to turn paper for writing and art. On the other floor, there are many items from the 2 dynasties of Egypt, including items from the tomb of pharaohs. They also have 2 special rooms that have got a number of different mummies and kings and other royal family members that are on display that you can see.